Joe Greene here, now live in Studio B alongside Sean Rubin and Steve Bohn here. And in front of us, a great bunch of musicians. I've been excited to be able to welcome them here to the studio today. And Tim Carter and his band. How you doing, Tim?
I'm great.
Oh, good.
Great.
Well, welcome. Let's let you guys take off on one if you're ready to.
Okay. We're all tuned up, ready to go.
Tim Carter Band here in Studio B. Oh, wait. I forgot one important thing.
Okay.
Live Studio B sessions on WNCW made possible by Sierra Nevada Brewing Company. We love them. We can't forget about them.
Don't want to forget the beer.
Now,
Yeah, man.
making us all hungry. You know, that story comes around, has a happy ending on that tune,
It
doesn't
does
it?
have a. You noticed, didn't
Oh,
you?
yeah.
Yeah, it's about some homeless guy, didn't have nothing, no fat back. That'll make you sad. But then
Yeah.
he got it all in the end.
Yeah, yeah.
The woman, the fat back,
The
everything.
dog, everything.
Everything.
Yeah,
He's got it
yeah.
all.
That's on y'all's album Wishes. It's out now.
It is. Yep.
And that record doing pretty good for you?
It's sold dozens of copies. But,
Dozens?
It's, you don't sell a lot of records anymore, but that song's done pretty well for itself. So I've had a couple that's done pretty good for me, so that one has.
Right.
Yeah.
That one's been played here, especially on the Tallgrass program on Sunday. That one, but played some other tunes off the album, too. It's a bunch of good stuff on there.
Well, I really appreciate it. Really do. North Carolina is my home state, and it's nice to get the support of my home state. So appreciate
But Tim Carter lives in Nashville these days,
I
doesn't he?
do.
And you got a studio.
I do. I run a studio. I've been an engineer in Nashville for 25 years now. So, and then I finally just built my own. I got tired of, dodging traffic downtown and built my own place. So
Yeah.
it's worked out really well for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to let you introduce these guys because I think folks are going to recognize all the names of your bandmates in here today. They're all, in my opinion anyway, celebrated musicians. So I'll let you do the introductions and make
Okay.
comments as folks usually do. And you fellas feel free also to talk about yourselves.
Yeah, that might be better. But over here playing electric guitar, he comes from Richmond, Virginia. Originally lived in Nashville for, I guess, 40 years, close to it, 38, something like that. But his name is Mike McAdam, and he's played with lots of the greats. He's played the Grand Ole Opry over 50 times, Joe.
Good grief.
So, you might want to get your picture taken with him. So,
I will.
I will. But his name is Mike McAdam, and he's played with, he's been a Steve Earle and the Duke guy during the Copperhead Road days. And who else, Mike?
Mary Chapin Carpenter, Radney Foster, Jim Lauderdale, bunch of them over the years.
Yeah.
We've all played with Jim Lauderdale, haven't
Yeah.
we? No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, I was reading some of your playing credits, and I'm telling you, that's a who's who right
Now he's
there.
in a banjo band. How about
Yeah.
that?
Yeah, but you know what?
Long, slippery slope.
But what a nice compliment, though. That nice slide playing he's doing and your
Yeah,
banjo.
See,
There
it
you
works,
go.
don't it?
It sure does.
Yes. I'm
Sure
trying to
does.
convince people that for the last 40 years, but
Well, you can't do that in bluegrass.
I know. I just get it out there. Over here playing bass, he's from North Carolina originally. He's been in Nashville for 30-something years, and he's played the Grand Ole Opry over 100 times.
Holy cow.
So you really want to get your picture taken with this guy. His name is Drake Leonard. And Drake, tell him who all the greats you've played with.
Well, Ricky Van Shelton. I played with him when he was having his hits. A girl named Sarah Evans, Hal Ketchum, some David Ball. Played with Johnny Paycheck one weekend.
Oh, wow.
And a guy named Spook Joyner.
Spook Joyner.
Yeah, who's got a theater over in Smithfield,
Okay.
over there by 40 and 95, called the Rudy.
All right. And that one's right there on your resume, I know.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Hey, Spook, if you're listening.
Back here on the drums, he's from North Carolina as well. He's lived in Nashville for lots of years. He's the oldest guy in the band. He's the only one that doesn't have gray hair. And he played with
What's your secret?
he played with Engelbert Humperdinck, man. I mean,
Get out.
I'm telling you, he toured with Engelbert for a lot of years, and he's got some of the best Engelbert stories you've ever heard that he's probably sworn to secrecy on, but if you're in the band, you hear him in the van. So he toured with Mel Tillis. He's toured with Stevie Winwood, all the greats, and now all these guys are playing in a banjo band. But his name is Dan Sherrill. He comes from around Hickory, North Carolina. So North Carolina's own Dan Sherrill on the drums.
Is that why y'all didn't put a mic back there for him so he couldn't tell the Engelbert stories?
Pretty much so, yeah.
Oh, man. Now, Dan, you're going to have to write some memoirs because I think we'll be interested to read that. Now, he's got them. All right.
Trust me, he's got them.
All right. Well, y'all ready to do another one for us? This
Yeah,
band,
man.
this banjo band, we love you.
Yeah, we'll do one that I wrote this song, and I think you've played it. It's called Whoa Whoa, and it's just really about nothing in particular. It's just about a cast of characters that I've run across in my travels, you know, people that stick out to me as like extra special characters.
Cool.
So
I thought maybe it was about that station up there, WOWO. I know, that's not it, right?
that's not it, but this one, even my grandfather was a preacher. He got struck by lightning twice. I don't know why, you know, I don't know what that's all about.
And
but
lived to tell the tale both
and
times.
lived to tell it. He walked all crooked over, you know, and he was a great man. He was a preacher and got struck by lightning. So I had to include that. It's a short verse. So
Wow. Well, that's cool. We got the Tim Carter Band live in Studio B here this afternoon. Anytime you fellers are ready. All right. Tim Carter Band, Studio B. Whoa, whoa. Yeah, I'm liking that. I'll tell you how Dan stays young at workouts you get on the drums. It keeps that circulation going and keeps your hair from turning gray. And he's agreeing back there. I think he knows what I'm talking
you're
about.
right.
Anyways, all right. I know folks out there is digging this. I want them to know. We'll talk about it more in a little bit. But y'all are going to be at the ISIS Music Hall up there in West Asheville tonight.
We're not. Actually.
You're not?
Yeah, it
No?
got canceled.
Oh,
Yes.
no.
Yes, sorry,
Oh,
but
man.
we're going to be at the Blue Bear Festival in Boone on
Right.
Saturday, and we're playing a place outside Greensboro called the Doodad Farm. It's an outdoor venue, and it's real popular around that area. So we'll be there tomorrow night or Friday night.
Yeah, Friday night at the
Yeah.
Doodad, and I've got Saturday afternoon at the Blue Bear
At the
Mountain.
Blue Bear, we'll be there at 3:00.
Yeah. That's up in Todd, North Carolina, just north of our lovely and palatial studios here.
Yeah, it's a beautiful spot. I think Acoustic Syndicate's going to be there. Melissa Reeves, a bunch of great
It's a great
bands. So,
lineup.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's really great. On top of a mountain, it's just beautiful.
I don't know anything about the Doodad Farm over there in Greensboro.
Yeah, man, it's really cool. It takes place on the front of this old tobacco barn. It's about 150 years old, and I just read an article in North Carolina State Magazine, State Magazine,
Our
whatever it
State?
is. Our State, and there's a great article about that place. So
Have to check it out. Educate myself every once in a while. Now, we were talking off the air about some projects. We mentioned that we got Claire Lynch in here this afternoon later on. You're doing a little work with her right now.
I am. I've done a bunch of work with Claire in the past. I've done a couple of records with her, and this particular project is her, Irene Kelly, and Valerie Smith.
Oh,
the three of
cool.
them. So we're trying to wrap it up now, but yeah, it's going to be really nice.
You've been traveling abroad a lot lately, too,
I
haven't you?
have. Let's see. 4 weeks ago, I started in Italy, and then I went to the UK. I came home, and I went to where did I go? I went to Australia.
Yeah.
I got there for a week, came back. I was home overnight and went down to Florida for a week. Came back, slept in my bed one night, came here.
Talking to Tim Carter, yeah, following you on social media was like a travel show.
Yeah.
There for a little while.
Well, you know, Joe, what I try to do is I take as many pictures I can so I can remember where I've been. I'll go back and look at it and go, okay, yeah, I remember this.
Right, yeah. I
it's
don't
great.
blame you there.
Yeah.
Glad you're making some stops here in North Carolina. You know, back when Wishes came out, you know, I was like, man, I wonder if he's going to play this area or not. And we had to wait a little while, but
Yeah,
you've
yeah.
made your way over here. You didn't brag on yourself any, but I was looking at some of the folks you've worked with, too. Allison Brown,
Yeah.
Tim O'Brien, Terry Clark. Terry Clark's an interesting lady, isn't she?
She's very interesting. Yes.
Met her in Nashville like 20-something years ago at the Music City News Awards. Remember those?
Yep.
And I was a seat filler. Did you play with her, too?
No, but I played that show.
Yeah, but yeah. Well, I remember going, and I wanted to be a seat filler so I could sit out there amongst all you stars, right? And got to sit out there. I think I took Brian White's seat, and Terry Clark was sitting there right beside me, man. She was so nice.
Oh, she's very nice.
You know, so anyway, but you've got a long list, and, you know, I think don't you have a Grammy or two or something?
Yeah, I mean, my Grammys are for engineering, like engineering records.
Right,
that-
producing and stuff.
Yeah, that are like records that have won Grammys or nominated for Grammys, and so one of them was Allison Brown and Bela Fleck record, Fair Weather, and then a Daryl Anger, Mike Marshall record, and yeah, just a couple more. So.
Yeah,
I don't
well,
like to talk about myself too much.
oh, I know, and I sometimes hesitate to ask folks. I kind of see how they are before I ask, because some guys, it's like the guys from World War II. They don't want to talk about that. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? And
yeah,
some
yeah.
some of the artists don't want to talk
I
about their
don't
awards.
feel worthy.
Well, folks need to realize. I just want folks to know. Not only are you guys great players, but you have other accomplishments. And you, Tim, you're a producer as well, and as well as a songwriter and a musician and singer. So, give everybody the full picture while you're here.
Well, I've truly been blessed, you know. Plus, I tell people, if you're going to get into music, it's nice to have something else to do in music besides just playing. You know, it just helps out to make a living at it. So.
Right. Make tens of dollars playing, and then you do stuff on the side.
I was talking to Steve here about it. It's like all things music related. It doesn't matter if you're even a musician, when you're involved in music, you love music, then get involved in it somehow.
Mm-hmm.
You know, my dad was a radio DJ when I was growing up. I grew up in a radio station. So.
What kind of music did he play?
He played, back then, you could play whatever you wanted to play. So he did a lot of big band music, and they had a studio about like this. It was a little bigger, and they would bring in like Benny Goodman and
Wow.
some big name guys, you know. But he played a lot of country. He played the Beatles, you know. He was
pretty broad, wasn't he?
He was pretty broad, but that's
Well,
when you could do that.
Was that here in North Carolina?
That was here in North Carolina, yeah. It was in, Aberdeen, North Carolina, and then High Point, North Carolina is when he finished out his career in radio.
Well, that's terrific.
Yeah, it's
Back
cool.
when AM was still king?
Yes. So it was great growing up in that environment, you know. I used to spend a lot of time up there with him.
That's terrific, man.
Yeah.
And that built your body of musical knowledge too, didn't it?
It really did. I think the first acoustic record I really heard that turned me on to this kind of stuff was Homer and Jethro. He brought home a Homer and Jethro record, and I was like, man, that guy could pick that thing. So Jethro Burns, so I really got into that.
Well, excellent. What have you picked up? Put your banjo down and picked up
Yeah, I picked up this octave mandolin that came up. It's an octave mandolin, and it's tuned in octaves. So it's like. So it's got a little different, more of a 12-string guitar sound.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm all into this thing right now. So a year from now, you might not see it anymore, but I'll do a song off my Wishes record. This one's called Trains in the Night.
All right. Tim Carter Band here in Studio B. Trains in the Night, the name of that one, right?
That's
Correct? All right.
Trains in the Night. We'll pick up the banjo now.
Going back off the octave mandolin.
Warning, I'm picking up.
Yeah. Well, we are happy to have you fellas here today. Let's quickly tell folks where they can follow you guys online and look up things about you and that sort of stuff.
Yeah,
Get in touch with you.
Well, you can go to timcarterband.com or Facebook, Tim Carter Band, and they'll be able to find all they need to know.
Sure. There's probably a link if you don't feel like searching. If you look at one of the entries from, you can find it on WNCW.org or on my page for the tall grass where you guys are tagged in it. That'd be an easy way to hook up with your Facebook page. Twitter and Instagram too, or no?
No, not yet. I've done it, and I'm like, man, I just can't keep up with all this, you know?
It gets to be a lot of
It becomes
data.
a lot, and I know it's important, and so I just need to hire somebody to do it all. But I appreciate all your support, Joe, and everybody here. Really appreciate you guys.
Well, and I wish you continued success on Wishes. Great album.
Thanks.
Are you already thinking about another one?
I am, yeah. That record was kind of my healing record. My brother fell ill. I had a career with my brother for 35 years, and then he fell ill. He's doing a lot better now. But
Good.
But I was trying to search my direction, you know, what I'm going to do next. And I'd done a bluegrass record, and I kind of stayed the course with what the Carter brothers had done in the past, and that was mixing blues and rock and stuff with a banjo, just kind of our own made-up version of it. So
Right.
Yeah.
So your brother Danny, y'all were known as the Carter brothers.
The Carter brothers, yeah,
Did
man.
some playing together and.
We toured the world, you know, playing North Carolina music, you know. So there you go.
And you, let's see, did I read you're working with Hey See Dixie again on something right now?
I am. Well, I've been touring with those guys for the last 3 years, and they're not full-time band, but I'll go over for like a month at a time, you know, go play with them and and then I won't see them for 3 months, and then go back over. So I'm getting ready to go back over for a couple of weeks, and then I think we're coming to the States for like a week. So it'd be nice if we could get them in here.
It sure would.
Yeah, it's a fun, unusual band.
Oh
know.
yeah, I'd be
And-
thrilled to have them here.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's that similar appeal to groups like the Cleverleys have now. It's a take on and it's all about the arrangement and the attitude and everything. But Hey See Dixie's
man.
kind of led the way on that for
They
a lot.
really did. They did the first record, I think, 17 years ago, and it was all AC/DC songs
Yeah.
done bluegrass, and they sold almost 300,000 copies of that in their back seat. So
You don't do that in bluegrass.
no, man, you don't do that. But people, in Europe, I mean, we sell out every night. It's just the craziest thing I've ever seen in my life. You
Yeah.
know. But,
Well, you guys do it right. I mean, you can try to cover rock tunes and things like that in grass, and you can do it wrong. I mean, you
Oh,
can
yeah.
screw it up. But if you got a good plan, and y'all do, and you do the songs, they sound great.
Yeah, well, we just finished a record a couple of weeks ago, and we did the whole record in 3 days, and we didn't know what we were going to do when we went in that first day. So,
Well, that's exciting news too. All of y'all are such busy guys. What about you, Mike? You got something going on side projects too? I mean,
Yes, I do. Actually, I'm working on my own record. This will be my second solo record. I'm about halfway. Oh no, actually, maybe 2/3 of the way done with that. And of course, it'll be on my own label, which is yet to be named.
I'm sure you'll think up something catchy. I'm satisfied.
The last label was Permanent Records.
Okay.
Because the nuns, when I was in Catholic school as a child, they told me that all the stuff I was doing was going to wind up on my permanent record.
Okay. And what? Well, can you? You don't want to be a spoiler completely, I guess, but what style, genre are you working on that? Or is it a combination of things?
It's kind of a combination. I mean, there's an influence of Americana type stuff. There's probably an influence of British invasion rock from the mid '60s.
Mm-hmm.
It's a little bit of everything. I've had to play everything, all my life. So, it's a little bit. It's there's some country stuff in there, but I'm not making it a country record.
Right.
Really, it's
Right. Well, everything's kind of country, right? If you dip into the Americana thing at all, you're going to have a little country flavor in there, right? I don't know.
yeah.
What about you, Mr. Drake?
I'm trying to get that permanent record cleaned, mainly, and
He's trying to get expunged.
yeah, and spending some time down in Key West. And I played with Terry Clark one afternoon at Tootsie's,
Yeah.
and she sang "Rock and Roll," that Led Zeppelin song.
Really?
Yeah,
That's a challenging song to sing, depending on what key you choose.
yeah, I can't remember which key it was.
And Dan doesn't have a mic back there, but he can holler and we'll translate for you. Is it working on a project of your own right now?
Well, yeah, I actually have I play all the Latin percussion instruments as well. So I have a Afro-Cuban band in Nashville, believe it or not, and we play a bit around town. And Tim Carter doesn't know it yet, but we're going to record at his studio very soon.
All right.
I feel a freebie coming on.
Oh. I was going to say, I don't know how much rent money's going to be in there, but that's great. If you can't call on your friends, who
Exactly.
can? Yeah. Well, that sounds cool. And you've put out some teaching materials for Latin percussion, haven't you? Didn't I read something about that or seen some? I saw.
You do your due diligence.
I try.
Yeah, I did. It's actually for drum set. Back in 2008, a video producer came to me and asked me to do an instructional video on drum set, which I did. It was so much work. We did 12 DVDs, 5 play-along CDs, a 100-page book. I wrote like 200 pages, and they edited it down to 100. It was like, it took a year and a half to do. So yeah, but it was great. I would do it again. It was wonderful.
All right. Well, that's terrific. See, I told you all these guys accomplished. I'm just honored you guys had time to come in and be in our little studio today.
I'm learning things about these guys today.
And thank you, Sean, for making it possible for us to hear Dan back there. He doesn't have a vocal mic per se, so that was terrific. All right, one more.
One more. I'll do a song that I wrote about my first trip to Ireland, and everybody said, when you go to Ireland, get off the plane and go to a pub. And I said, well, okay. But what they didn't tell me is the planes get there at 7 o'clock in the morning. But I went to a pub, and a story came out of it. I actually wrote this song with my friend Tim Stafford. You know Tim. And I called him right before we went on the air, and I said, hey, listen up and see how I've crucified our song, So
What do you say?
he said, yeah, okay, I'll be listening. So here you go, my buddy Tim Stafford. And thanks again, Joe and Sean, all you guys. Dylan, thanks, man. Appreciate all your help.
Live in Studio B, the Tim Carter Band here on WNCW. I've had to whoop my head around there, Mike. I thought that you'd broken out a steel guitar from somewhere. That was pretty cool.
I got a little beat bender on this one.
Yeah, indeed you do. And great tone, fellas. Love that banjo you're playing,
Thanks.
Tim. What sort of banjo is that?
It's a Pruka. It's a guy named Jarlov Pruka who lives in the Czech Republic.
Right.
And he became well known for building banjo parts. And all the banjo makers would buy their parts from Yarda. And then he started building full banjos. So he does a great job. It's a great banjo.
Terrific.
Yeah.
TimCarterBand.com is the website. You guys are going to be, on Friday at the Doodad Farm in Greensboro for a 7 o'clock show. It's what I have.
Yep.
And then Saturday afternoon, you said about 3 o'clock?
About 3 o'clock.
At the Blue Bear Mountain Music Fest you've been hearing about here on NCW. That's up in Todd, North Carolina.
Exactly, yeah.
On Saturday. Now, it's going on more, but y'all are going to be there on Saturday.
It starts, I think, Thursday night and goes through Sunday. So we'll be
Yeah.
there Saturday only. So
All right.
come on.
Come on down. Guys, thank you all again.
All right, Joe. Thanks.
It was a pleasure having all of you guys in here today. And we're in Studio B, and those sessions are made possible by Sierra Nevada Brewing Company. I'm Joe Greene.